know we've been here a long time, but I think we need to discuss something. I learned that we have a situation regarding setback that Mr. McNair had violated the setback requirement, and I've learned that he was arrested, and since learned that there were some errors made in the permitting process, and maybe some errors made by Scotty as far as interpretation of the setback requirement. And because of those errors, I don't think we could defend this in court. And I think we need to consider dropping that case if that's possible. And if necessary, I'd make a motion to that effect.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. I mean, is that?
I never heard of that way of disposing of a.
Yeah, I can't hear you speak up.
Well, I've never heard of that means of disposing of a criminal case. Have you heard from the city prosecutor on this case?
No, I just heard that there've been a bunch of errors made that created a situation that if we go to court with it, I just don't think we could defend it in court. And the setback requirement, as I understand it, was misinterpreted, and he went by what Scotty had told him. Is that right?
Well, let me explain the facts as I understand them. The actual setback requirement was 25 feet. The building had to be at least 25 feet from the side setback line for commercial property, and I'm told that Scotty had misinformed the owner that the setback requirement was 10.
Yes, residential.
But the fact is that the actual, as far as we know, we've seen a surveyor's sketch of the property and where the building sits in relation to the boundary line, and it's only 2 feet from the boundary line. So he would have been in violation even if the erroneous information were not given. I mean, if we allow somebody to off the hook for building within 2 feet of a setback line when the requirement is 25, I'm not sure what we would say to people that we've already prosecuted for.
Well, it's just a
Less.
situation. I think the city ends up looking really bad about this, and in the eyes of the public, and the intent of the ordinance is to get the setbacks. I understand that, and we've worked on that through the years. At the same time, I was a little surprised that he was arrested, and I understand there's some other charges there that I don't understand, but I'm just looking for a way to resolve this, that we could get past it and not have to go to court with it and have to defend it in court whenever there were errors made by city officials. And so that's what I was thinking.
Is there a way to keep this out of court?
Well, I suppose the charge could be dropped, but then my concern is, what do you say to the neighbor who is joining that property line, and the offending neighbor is 23 feet too close to their line?
Kane, didn't you say that if a fence was built, the neighbor said she would be satisfied with that?
At one time, Ms. Roberts had stated that, but
Well, we can ask.
I mean, we can always ask. I don't know how one party would feel or another. I know that she's called your office numerous times. I know she's called up here, spoken with Carrie a lot, and I think there's a way we can resolve this. I personally would like to see it kept out of court, but I know that she has really called you a lot and me a lot, and I don't know if Mr. McNair were to go to try to get a variance, and we allow adjoining property owners to speak, I don't know if they would be issued a variance, because I know that she's very upset. But I do think that there was a lot of misinformation from the city, including myself, in regards to this situation. And I'll be the first to say that. Don't report it, but I'll be the first to say that.
No, a variance can be granted by a city.
We've already done that for
Yeah.
somebody that violated
Yes, regardless of what anybody else says. Because, I mean, she can argue it in court, but at the end of the day, it's the planning commission, isn't it, that makes the decision on a variance.
Well, there's a separate board of zoning adjusters and Mr. Jim, you're on that.
When their
What was
decision,
the criminal
Yeah, I wanna know
trespassing,
why
yeah?
it's criminal.
Criminal trespassing, well, because the building was only 2 feet from the property line, the person who was doing the building, was over on the neighbor's property
During the construction?
during the construction, and the offending property owner actually built a French drain that extended beyond the 2 feet onto the neighbor's property and dug probably 100-foot French drain on the neighbor's property with no permission. There's
He's since
also,
removed that, he removed it.
No, she won't.
I'll say this as well, when the offending party first built this was a kennel for boarding cats and dogs, and apparently they did not connect their sewage drain to the city sewer as required. We sent Scotty out there, and we sent the health department out there, and they looked at it and told Mr. McNair he'd have to build a separator and funnel that sewage into the city sewer system, whereas what he appeared to have done was short circuit that, did not run and this was animal waste that was coming from the kennel, inside the kennel, and he had it piped out into the French drain on the neighbor's property, and it caused such a stench that
Well, has that been corrected?
that has been corrected.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And it
But
wasn't
it-
associated with that smell.
The smell was so bad, and the neighbor,
Yeah, it was
the
like-
non-offending neighbor, has a food truck that she has there on that property, and the stench basically meant that nobody would stop and buy food from her food truck.
But that was just fly traps, right? That once he did away with them, the smell went away.
I believe yes.
Well, if this goes to court, and the court ruled in the favor of the city, what would be the outcome of it?
Well, as to building too close to the property line, there's fines, for each day that could be imposed by the court. And ultimately, though, that doesn't resolve the problem, except because the building's still there. The building's still too close. The judge of the district court can say, well, I'm gonna fine you $100 a day until you get this fixed, but there's no easy solution because it's a big
So
metal
the court
building.
could tell him to tear the building down?
I don't think the court's gonna say that. I think the court would say, well, you're gonna pay $100 a day fine or some amount in the range. I don't remember what the range of fines
I see the
is.
importance of setbacks and all, we've dealt with that for years, and we dealt with it with a subdivision out there that got pretty messy. But I just think we need to look for a way to resolve this somehow without going to court and fighting it out in court, I think the city's gonna look pretty bad in it if the errors were made. That,
Could it be possible to get both parties in a room?
I don't know.
what was that, King?
Get both
I
parties
asked
in a
him
room.
if we could get both parties in a
We
room.
can ask.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
that
we
would
could
be-
try to get them in a room and solve this, I don't know
Yeah,
if we can, but I'd like to. I don't know if you wanna
I'd be happy to
try anyway.
look into it, except that, you know, I'm the prosecutor on this, so I can't give advice to the party that's been charged with the offense, the violation. So it may take someone else from the city to act as a mediator.
Who gets paid the big bucks?
So moved.
Not me.
So moved. I'll brush up on my mediating. Okay.
Arbitration. Can I arbitrate?
Arbitrator. Excuse me,
But
arbitrator.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I mean, I don't have any feelings that we've got to prosecute the case. It's let's do what's right for the city and what's fair to both sides here. But we can't forget about the party that's been aggrieved either.
Yeah.
So,
The
and then,
neighbor.
yeah, after you've arbitrated, if we need to have another city council, special call city council meeting, we
Okay.
can do it.
Well, I will, I'll call your office tomorrow and
All right.
you can, I'm not gonna be a client, so don't send me a bill, but, we'll move from there and try to resolve it. How about that?
That's great.
Y'all want to use the gym out there, Greg, to have something?
We're gonna use the pickleball courts. The only other item that I have is, we need to schedule a budget committee meeting coming up, closer to the end of this month or even next month. But the only other thing would be a public safety joint meeting with the Grant County Budget Committee is gonna take place here September the 20th at 6 p.m. And, all council members are welcome to attend, but for sure.
Is it at 6? The email said 5:30.
5:30, excuse me, yes,
It is at
5:30.
5:30.
It says 6, so.
Sorry, 5:30, that's my apologies. And I will correct that too, it's at 5:30. That's when Judge Pruitt requested it, so. The county will be here at 5:30 and it will be hosted here. Other than that, any other business come before the council? Not all in favor to, I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.